In the last video, we were talking about rhythm and we learned some terminology. We learned that rhythm is the term we use to describe how music is arranged in time. We learned about beat, that regular recurrent pulse that runs through a piece of music. We learned about that some of the beats can be accented. We learned tempo indicates the speed of the beat, or it's a term we use when we're discussing the speed of the beat. And we learned about meter, or how the beats are grouped. In this little video, we're going to learn how to notate the length of certain notes. So music is made up of long notes and short notes and silent spaces known as rests between notes, that sort of thing. We're going to get to all of that in future tutorials, but I'm going to keep it really simple for now. And I'm going to introduce 3 different symbols that indicate 3 different lengths of note. You'll hear what that means in just a minute. So the first symbol I want to introduce is this one right here. I'm moving it around the screen, and you can see that it looks pretty much like an oval with a hole in the middle of it. This note is called a whole note. And when you see a whole note on a musical staff, it's telling you as the musician, play that note and hold it for 4 beats, or sing it for 4 beats. And we can place that note either up or down on this 5-line arrangement, which is called a musical staff. We'll learn more about the musical staff in following lessons that have to do with how to notate pitch. But basically, I'll give you the quick run through right now. You can place the note on any of these 5 lines, or the spaces between the lines, spaces above or below the staff. That's what this 5-line arrangement is called, a musical staff. If you have more than one staff, we use the term staves. We're going to keep it simple for now, and we're not going to worry about the pitch reference on a staff, but instead just the rhythmic reference. So if I place this note on this middle line here, that's telling a musician, play that note and hold it for 4 beats. That's what a whole note indicates in music. So I'm going to write 4 whole notes on this staff. And then in just a sec, we'll listen to what that sounds like. You're going to hear the beat clicking in the background. I've got a little metronome that's going to play along. And then it's going to click, I think, 8 times first to get us ready and locked into the tempo. And then you'll hear the metronome will continue, and you'll hear those 4 whole notes play. Each one, a note is played on the first beat of the group of 4 and then held for 4 beats. Then we move on to the next whole note. Here we go. See if you can focus in. It might help to tap the beat as you hear it click. Were you able to keep up? So that was 4 beats for each note. We have another, and that's called a whole note, W-H-O-L-E. Let's look at another symbol now. I'm going to erase these 4 whole notes, and I'm going to shift to another symbol. This symbol is called a half note. And it looks somewhat similar to a whole note in that it has an oval that's got a hole in the middle of it. We call that oval, by the way, the note head. But what differentiates this symbol from the whole note is that it has a straight line attached to it. That straight line is called a stem. And we'll learn in following lessons that sometimes that stem goes up, as you're seeing it here. Sometimes the stem goes down. But if you see a note that has a hollow oval and a stem connected to it, that is called a half note. There's a half note with the stem going down. And a half note tells a musician, play this note and hold it for 2 beats. So where the whole note was played for 4 beats each, this is going to be held for just 2 beats each. And I'm going to write in a bunch of them on the center line of this staff, and we'll see what they sound like. So again, you'll hear the metronome clicking away, but each note will only last for 2 beats. Here we go. Again, it'll probably help you to tap the beat while you're listening. So it sounds like those notes are playing faster, but remember what we learned about tempo? Tempo is when the beat speeds up and slows down. The tempo remained the same. The click didn't change, didn't get faster. But because each of these notes is shorter, the music sounds like it's moving a little more quickly. Each note lasts only for 2 beats. I'm going to erase those, and we'll learn our last rhythm symbol. So far we've learned the whole note, which is the oval without a line or a stem connected. We've learned a half note, which is that one, the oval with a stem. And now we're going to learn something called a quarter note. A quarter note still has an oval-shaped note head, and it has a stem. But what differentiates this note from the half note is that the oval note head is filled in. It's solid. There's no daylight in the center of it. This is called a quarter note. And a quarter note is the shortest of these 3 notes that I'm going to introduce today. Each quarter note lasts only for 1 beat. So they're much shorter than either a whole note or a half note. When I write in these quarter notes and when we play them back in a minute, you'll hear each quarter note lasts for 1 beat. So every click of our metronome will coincide with 1 quarter note's worth of music. Let's see what that sounds like here in just a sec. Okay, and again, probably helpful to you to tap along as you hear the music playing. Okay, 2 bars or 2 groups of 4, and then here we go. So that's how we indicate how long or short a note should be in a piece of music. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what it sounds like when we mix up whole notes and half notes and quarter notes. Let me just erase some of these. Actually, I'll put that one back. And I'm going to erase some of these, and I'm going to give you a look and a listen to what it's like when we have music that changes from whole notes to half notes to quarter notes. So we'll have a whole note play there, and we'll have maybe, 2 half notes play here, and we'll play 4 quarter notes, and then finally we'll go back to a whole note at the end. Let's see what that sounds like. So again, when you listen, you should try to tap the beat along with it and watch as the music progresses. You notice that little green line that sweeps across the staff? That'll help you keep your place. So we're going to hear 8 beats of just count off to help us get ready and locked into the tempo. And then we'll hear this music playing. This first note will be played and held for 4 beats. This is a half note. It will be held and played and held for 2 beats. Same thing here, another half note. Each of these quarters will be held for just 1 beat. And then finally we have another whole note at the end, played and held for 4 complete beats. Here we go. Don't forget to tap along and watch as the music progresses. So that's how musicians keep track of how long or short each note should be. The whole note, 4 beats. The half note, 2 beats. The quarter note, 1 beat each. Okay, this time I'm going to play the same piece of music again, but I'm going to speed up the tempo. So you'll hear the beat will go a little faster, but each note will retain the same relationship to the beat. In other words, even though the beats are occurring more quickly at this faster tempo, this whole note is still going to last for 4 beats. The half notes will still last for 2, and the quarters will still last for 1 beat each. So here we go at that faster tempo. And now we'll hear the same piece of music again, this time at a very slow tempo. So each whole note will still last for 4 beats, but the beats are going to occur more slowly. Same thing with the half notes, which will still last for 2 beats, but each beat will be a little slower. All right, listen and see if you can hear the difference. It would be helpful to tap while you listen. So one more time, whole note equals 4 beats of music. If the beats are going fast, a whole note is going to be over with pretty quickly. If the beats are going slowly, the tempo is slow, then a whole note can last a long time. All right, that's it for this tutorial.